Mm. I've been lied to my whole life. Now I found truth. It's alright. I know, 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 I know. I've been lied to my whole life. Now I found truth. It's alright. I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. All I know is hustle, 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 hustle. Hard. All I know is hustle, hustle. Oh Lord, all I know is hustle, 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 hustle. Hard. All I know is hustle, hustle. Oh Lord, yeah. Oh Lord, yeah. Oh Lord, yeah. 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 Been lied to my whole life and I'm sick and tired of this shit. I'm sick and tired of this shit. Been lied to my whole life and I'm sick and tired of this shit. Somebody sick and tired of this shit. Hey, since day one they lied to us and we wasn't shit but slaves. But I found out what I found out, it was right there in my face. The preacher man, he lied. My mama, daddy didn't know, so I'm boxed in by lies. How the fuck I'm ever gonna grow? Hey, when the night falls and the lights out, you be reaching for some help. But when the real shit is bullshit, you be reaching for what's left. None of the lies gonna make it. You can read it for yourself. Here's the truth, you can't fake it. You need to find it for yourself. Nah, and nah, and nah. Oh, 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 I've been lied to my whole life. Now I found truth. It's alright. I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. I've been lied to my whole life. Now I found truth. It's alright. I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. All I know is hustle, 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 hustle. Hard. All I know is hustle, hustle. Oh Lord, all I know is hustle, 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 hustle. Hard. All I know is hustle, hustle. Oh Lord, yeah. Oh Lord, yeah. Oh Lord, yeah. Yeah. Been lied to my whole life and I'm sick and tired of this shit. I'm sick and tired of this shit. Been lied to my whole life and I'm sick and tired of this shit. Somebody sick and tired of this shit.
They killed. They put my house. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole. Was never expected to grow. Just obstacle set in the road. That a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home. Only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting. The trail of my tears is countless. The fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles will make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be. Slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cages, safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash. Get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom, we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now. You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. 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 Look, ain't no remorse in my blood cell. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I can get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in this body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is dish served cold, I just hope they make an oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in the world of mad shooters. Devils design fire for our babies to pass through. In the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums. One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
Shalom. It's that time, Israel. It's the Lord's 54th annual Passover in North Carolina.
Y'all
Y'all know what we do. Y'all know what we came to do. Huh?
The ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana will be in North Carolina Convention Center. This is something that you do not want to miss. Make sure that y'all bring the entire family.
Oh, you think I'm bullshitting? Wait till I get with you. If I gotta go to ground, I'ma shut the town down. I ain't about to stop until I hit sand down. All you gonna see is a lot of man down.
The downtown Raleigh Convention Center.
We ain't never stopping now. You run it down. My niggas go to ground. We go to ground. You dealing with the middle part.
For blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians. Go to isupk.com to purchase your tickets today. $200 per every adult over the age of 17 years old.
We are not the same. No, we not related. No, I'm not stuck on living. Death is a vacation. My camp undefeated. You cannot debate. You just want the clout.
The
We
Lord,
just want the great.
this
I'm just trying to
annual Passover, April the 1st, is coming down to Raleigh, North Carolina. That's right. Commander General Yohana has done it again. You don't want to miss this. Pull yourself. Pull yourself.
Yeah, go to the messed up, no. Bad news is to beat your home, nigga. Yeah. Who gonna get on that ass real quick one time? 144, baby.
They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me whole car. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I go with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this Lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm too hardcore. Wait up, let me make a call right quick. I'ma start another war. I was hurting when she left, but I don't care about anymore. I need a Vaseline like my Nina Pumper Ford. Took a Zach, watch the dark. Matter of fact, like a dart. Any problem, let them come. We gon' snatch they soul like Shang Tsung. Put them out of service, keep them tools like Miss Harvey Free. Try to hope it's way too late. I'm headed straight to the safe. Throw that one up like a trophy. I'm that nigga, ain't no debate. Told them boys we taking over. Call them up like set the date. This shit a piece of cake. Yeah, my bitches came from Whole Foods. Told them put on that top 3. Then bring me my house shoes. Don't make excuses, make moves. These niggas ungrateful, gotta show them UPK rules. I make hits like I can't lose. They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that business like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, the whole part. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the fart. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this Lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm too hardcore. Yeah, I just got off the call. I'ma start another war. Spit a plate up with my niggas, get your knife and your fork. They ain't locked in with the count and when you speaking to me fart. Yeah, I just took the floor. Ain't no cowards in my campaign. They can't stop the campaign. Tell them bring the champagne. They know I'm a champion. They can see the outcome. Beat them niggas bad, got them tied down and out there. You can't do with them steppers. Niggas been down since day one. We run up the bands, bitch like Dylan. They say you get on, you gon' represent. I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I read that bitch just like a horse. Yeah, about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, we whole part. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this low, so that bitch is either or. I told you niggas, you ain't cut like that. I swear I'm too hardcore. And I just made it call. We gon' start another war. Yeah.
Back row.
You'll never see another nigga like this. Used to have that white bitch popping on the night shift. Now I'm on westward, sharper than the ice pick. On you rappers' necks, and it's feeling like some vice grips. Yeah, that's like most of them scared to witness. Close your eyes, there's one right here for the trenches. Bad bitches, natural hair or extensions. Hood niggas that'll probably grip like some dentures. Runners on them fences, 23 and 1 out. Praying that that commissary hit before it run out. Bitches on the gram, dog filter with their tongue out. Couldn't stay home because they found the dugout. Closed casket, burner in the low jacket. My coat cabinet, riding on these whole rappers. My hoes fabulous. Now I don't mean that derogatory, but I'm a player and there's no my women riding for me. I avoided Maury. I got 2 jits. If I can't make it do for them, then I'm useless. Sit down that roof, Chris, with a couple bosses. After the war, just to count our losses. There's not many. You see a smile on my face, but I'm not friendly. Gun on my waist, sipping white Henny. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know like. Gotta got my heart grip, my bow tie. Waiting on the swerve in my whole life. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know like. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Living in the sport in my whole life, my whole life. It's so melodic. When I be dropping this ebonics, this ghetto phonics, it got me on the level supersonic. My bomb atomic, and you know where you can find me. Somewhere probably folding this paper origami. My name is pure as the Sani. My wave is like a tsunami. I went from 0 to 100, feeling like Ricky Bobby. I made a deal with the Reaper. Got a couple wives, they some keepers. Talk a lot of shit, but you can't walk a mile in my sneakers. Bitches go to Miami, come home and change features. Now she got a BBL, her ass fatter. Trying to show up all them niggas that laughed at her. Now when they see her, they only wanna fuck her. They just wanna touch her. They don't wanna cuff her. They just wanna come and kick it with her like a punter. Turned her to a runner, now it's all aboard the train. Fenty on her face, but it's not the pain, it's a shame. So I'm in the hood like some rap snacks. I know niggas kill you when you're a 4-10. Matte Black, they do it for half that. Had you like 90s Missy in a fucking trash bag. I'm from Philly, we don't do bank accounts, just cash app. I spit a verse and I just watch the time slow. This that guy flow, this that shit that rappers die for. This that uncut Tahoe Wall straight from Pablo Escobar. I be at the bar like Moscato. They think it's effort, but no, this that block work. Make the countermeasures, take pleasures, making an op heard. Lighters in the sky, cause every verse is a concert. My mind work at speed y'all can't fathom. Listen to the words of a champion. You can't. The streets need another anthem. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know like. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Waiting on the swerve in my whole life. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know like. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Living in the swerve in my whole life, my whole life.
Israel. And when I mean Israel, I'm talking about the Black, Hispanic, and Native. The Lord's 54th annual Passover is going down again this year, sundown, April 1st at 500 South Salisbury Street in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Downtown Conventional Center. It's got enough room for all of us. The Lord's 54th annual Passover. Last year, brothers and sisters showed up from all over the world, rocking ancient garments and glorious apparel in order to serve the Most High in Christ. Now, it's that time again. Commander General Yohana's putting out the decree for all brothers and sisters to show up sundown, April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina. Join us at the Sheridan in Raleigh, the hotel right downtown. It's at 421 South Salisbury. The Passover is right up the block at the convention center, literally within walking distance. Make sure you pull up. Make sure that you do your due diligence because rooms are going fast and they are limited this weekend. You understand? We have months in advance of preparation. Do not wait till the last minute to get your room. The Lord's 54th annual Passover, Saturday, April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina. Join us there.
It's about time, sending curses to them enemies. You can
Sluggy,
Salaki, sir. It's now muffled.
all right, Sluggy. I'm getting an echo over there. Hey, Salaki, can the other zones hear me or Goldsboro, can y'all hear me?
We can hear you in Fayetteville.
Am I coming through clear or is it muffled or anything?
It's better. You were muffled a minute ago. You sound a little better now.
Okay, Most High in Christ.
Kyle, we can hear you, sir.
I think Charlotte, I think y'all gotta switch your audio source again to put it directly on the microphone. I think right now it might be connected to the computer. We're getting that little bit of an echo.
Salaki, sir, you hear how we sound now, sir?
Now you sound excellent. That's Tawab.
The water.
Salaki, Adawana, Officer Zion, you ready to go, sir? Oh, you're muted, Adawan.
Check. Can you hear me?
I hear you just fine, sir.
All right, Most High Christ. We got everybody thought one.
Come, sir.
All right, well, Most High Christ, get a load of hand, man. Once again, this is Isupk, started 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, operating up under Commanding Junior Hunter.
So
if
like
you're not in the Isupk, you are not in the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like true Isupk fashion, we come into these classes, man, to learn the truth about our history. You know what I'm saying? Where we come from, what we should and should not be doing as a nation of people, what we should be eating, what we should be, you know what I'm saying, who we should be having sex with, what you should be putting in your body, what you should not be putting in your body, who to marry, who not to marry, who to show love, or who not to show love to, and if you're going to show love, how to do it correctly according to the Bible. You understand? So with that being said, what's going on in the earth, man? Y'all talk to me. Lord willing, Captain of 13,000, Captain 9,000, but Yum would come in and rock and roll and be able to answer any of your questions that you have about the Bible. And if you have been reading the Bible, you should have some questions. If you don't have any questions, that means you're not reading. You understand? You are not studying. This school is designed for scholarship. You come here to learn, to break down things, to teach our people the things that they do not know. And why would you do it? It's because your Christian church does not do it. You understand? Your father has not done it, neither has your mother. They've been more concerned about who they have sex with and what type of wig they want to put on their head. You understand? The Isupk are the only ones that are concerned about your well-being as to following the law, statutes, and commandments. If you do not believe me, go ask your stinking Christian pastor and watch what he tells you. He'll say that it's not important and we should love and sing and dance and go hug trees in the goddamn forest. You understand? We don't do that. So with that being said, I hope y'all understand. What we got, Young Nazar? Young Nazar in the building? Come on, bud. Who got it?
Can you hear me, sir?
Come on, I can hear you, Young Nazar.
Yeah, I'm in the building, sir.
Most High Christ. Give Young Nazar a hand, man. You know what I'm saying? That's right. Hey, thought one, you do know Young Nazar is from New York, right? Okay, I like him. Come on,
sir. I'm aware, sir.
Okay, all right, Most High Christ. So who we got in the building today, man? We got Bunyamin in the building today. Trinidad. Trinidad in the building. We got Young Man Henry here.
We got Jamaica in the building, and we got the Bahamas in the building. Young Man Henry got the Bahamas.
Jamaica and Bahamas in here, man. Christ. Right. So where we going, Young Nazar? Where we at?
Well, if I may, sir, yeah, I do try to keep up with what's going on. I, try to see how we try in Isupk. What we try to do, we try to see how the Lord is moving on the earth. Because at this stage in time, these prophecies are coming, are being fulfilled every day. So I try to look and see, understand, like how the Lord is moving. And one of the things that I see, aside from the weather, one of the things that we really should be looking at is like this crazy weather that's going on all over the earth. Like it snowed in Senegal, y'all. It snowed in Senegal for the first time in history, according to the report. So these are the kind of things that I see going on. It was 2 earthquakes. It was an earthquake in Western North Carolina the other day. I don't know if y'all heard about that. But it was up there in the mountains. It was only a 1.5, but it still was an earthquake, and it was an earthquake in Northern California as well. along with the storms and what have you. And the Most High is killing a lot of people.
Now, I love what you did, Giannis. It's such a scholarly thing to talk about the weather and the rainbows and the volcanoes, and the Lord has done all these things in earth. But y'all know what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about O.G. Mike, if I may. You understand? Michael Luther King, if I may. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about that filthy bastard, if I may. And anybody got anything they want to bring out on MLK?
Con, sir, I got a question, sir.
Come on, hold on a second. Come on, Buck, y'all. It's right here. It's a lot, yeah. I'm coming to you, Yamazon.
Come on.
I got one, if I may.
Go ahead.
So they just unveiled this monument in Boston, a new monument dedicated to Martin Luther King.
Okay, can y'all hear Bunkyo?
Come. Right, go ahead. Yeah, they just a new monument dedicated to Martin Luther King and Coretta Scott King prompts mockery and criticism in Boston. So a black artist conceptualized this image of an embrace, and it's getting a lot of traction, a lot of motion on the internet. It's trending right now. It's a trending topic. The spirit of acknowledging Martin Luther King Jr. and all of his.
I just sent you a video, Taiwan. I want you to cue this video. Put it at started at 22 minutes for the Bible show. Let's cue it up for me. It started at 22 minutes. Come on, Mike, y'all.
I got an article according to CNN.
Come on.
Says the new monument dedicated to MLK and Coretta Scott King prompts mockery and criticism. Backlash ensued soon after a monument meant to honor Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his wife Coretta Scott King's legacy in Boston was unveiled. 20-foot tall, 40-foot wide, the Embrace statue was unveiled Friday on Boston Common, where King gave a speech on April 23rd, 1965, to a crowd of 22,000. The statue was inspired by a photograph of King and Scott King, which captured them hugging after he won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964.
So what was that outrage about?
Well, go ahead.
Come on, man.
It's the type of art. It's like conceptual art, and it doesn't look, when you first look at it, it's just very odd. Pull it up the wall. Yeah, it's very.
Come on.
It's a very odd-looking statue. If you leave it to your imagination, I didn't know that it was based on.
If y'all out there to these classes, you should be pulling your precept on MLK right now. Because I'm just gonna run it down. I'm just gonna go and just call it, and let's do it the right way. We got tons of people that are watching our classes. Let's show them why we stand alone in the ISUPK. Let's show them why we are the scholars that are in the ISUPK. The whole goddamn earth is looking for a miracle to show a sign that the Most High is real, that Christ is real. When us sitting in these classes is the very sign that you should understand. Us breaking down these scriptures is the very miracle that we all should buy into. Did anybody know why miracles are happening in the scripture? Why are there miracles in the scriptures? Did anybody know?
Sir.
Come on, Jeremiah, come on, brother.
So that the people could see who the Lord was with.
Come on. Our people sit around and wait for some sign to say, that's the Lord right there. But what they don't understand is we wake up every morning knowing that, guess what? Our very lives are the miracle that we live from day to day, man. You understand? Our very lives are the miracles that we live from day to day. You know what I'm saying? The miracle here is saying, we realize we can't have sex with whoever we want to have sex with. You can't marry who you want to marry. You can't do the drugs that you want to do in here. And for you to say, you know what, I'm rocking with that, that's the miracle, man. How do you know it's a miracle? Because there are tons of people who are not doing it. They do whatever they hear they want to do, and they are not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments.
That's right.
And when you look at people like Martin Luther King, and you begin to look at his history, you realize that guess what? His intent was never to do anything for Black, Hispanics, Native Indians. He was all about himself. And once he realized that, come on with it, Thugger One.
So, like I said, if I could, Captain Nyathoc is ready backstage, sir.
Right. What's that crack? And with that, I'm gonna turn the class over.
I apologize, Zion.
Live, sir. Let's do it.
Nah. Man, it's always nice to see you all, you know what I mean, rocking it out, man.
Yes, sir.
You're all going to 54th annual Passover. You understand? You don't want to miss it. You Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian, April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina.
That's right.
You understand? Blacks and Hispanics, you all want to come on in. Come on down and celebrate the Passover. You understand? We tried Martin Luther King. We tried the Black Panthers. We tried everything else, but the way the Lord have us to do. You understand what I'm saying? Come join us. April 1st, Raleigh, North Carolina, at the Convention Center. You understand? We got a ton of things for Blacks and Hispanics to do. Starting from Wednesday all the way to Sunday, we have events for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And support the truth, man. And support Israel. You understand? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And with that, let's get into Martin Luther King. I know you was on him. I know you was on him. I know you was going to get into him. You understand? And we're going to learn some things about Martin Luther King today. Tabo One, I sent you some clips, some videos.
Sir.
And we're going to get into it because these things are not going to be taught in the schools nor in the church. I bet you yesterday in the churches, you could go right now up on the internet and find pastors having sermon thanking God for Martin Luther King. Thanking him. But that is not going to be the case. You understand? We're going to break it all the way down to show you that you should not want to be like him and you should learn from his mistakes.
That's right.
You understand? We're going to have to teach our kids. We're going to have to sit them in front of these UPK classes and teach them to learn from Martin Luther King's mistake. You understand? Right? So first, give me let's start off with Jeremiah. Wait, is 25 or 23? I think it's 23. 23 and 25 or something like that. Come on.
Jeremiah chapter 23 and verse 25. I have heard what the prophet said, that prophesied lies in my name.
Right. He called himself being a leader for Black people. He had people march down on the Washington Mall. Millions of Black people. You understand? So he's seen himself as a leader to Black people. Right? And how many of you knew the what was the real reason for civil rights? What was the real purpose? What was the purpose of Black people coming from all the way down south to Washington, D.C.? What was the main purpose?
Sir, to get jobs for Black people.
Not just jobs. Not just jobs. What were they protesting about?
It's like the other one. Equal rights.
Equal rights. When they say equal rights, give me a little more.
It's like the other one. I could say fair treatment.
Now, you have to be a little more. You have to be a little more specific.
So long, sir. Was it equal pay?
Equal pay. That's it. That's all. They want if I was a bricklayer, right, and a white boy was getting paid, the oppressor was getting paid $15 an hour. Guess what? I wanted $15 an hour too. The whole march had to deal with them getting that equal pay. Martin Luther King hijacked it with a few other men. and they turned it into equal everything. What I call it, bus rides, fountains, whatever, joining hand in hand with the oppressor. He turned it into that when it wasn't about that. You understand? Black people were doing fine without the oppressor. Fine. You understand? Until that civil rights came in, when they wanted now to join us onto them. Now, guess what fails? Now your black schools are failing. Now you trying to put the whole burden on what's the footballer name?
Deion Sanders, sir.
Yeah, you're trying to put the whole burden on Deion Sanders. The problem didn't start with Deion Sanders. That's the problem. And I think it'll end with him. The problem started all the way with leaders like Martin Luther King. That's the problem. Because we had schools. We had schools that were doing well until integration came in. Integration destroyed the black community. It destroyed it to the point now, whereas the brothers and them gonna do a next month, gonna have a lecture on Durham being one of those places that was a black Wall Street. And because of integration, it was no more. It ended. You understand? Integration destroyed the black community, and Martin Luther King he did it to integrate us with this America.
That's right.
And now it's, you know what I mean, we in hell, Ark. What more I could say? Right? Read on.
Go, God. Saying, I have dreamed.
I had what?
I have dreamed.
I had what?
I have dreamed.
I have a dream. I have a dream. Now, Tabo, if you could play that video for me, right? No, one of those videos, I just want the audio. You just play his picture up, and I just want the audio. All right? If
okay.
All right.
Which one, sir?
Might be the last one. All right, but play the first one for me. All right? With that change. You understand? You could just play that one out.
You want the dream is a nightmare, sir?
Huh?
You want the my dream has turned into a nightmare, sir?
Yes, that's one. That one.
Come.
That one. That one itself.
You just want his picture and
No, you can play that one. I think you can play that one.
Okay.
Or if you think we're gonna get jammed up with playing it.
Nah, that should be public domain now.
Okay, go ahead.
Salaki, sir.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. And now, why we waiting for him to play it up? I'm waiting until he plays it up on the screen, right? All right, go ahead.
I have a dream.
What?
My poor little children, I have a dream. I have a dream. My poor little children.
Right, pause that.
One day live in a nation.
Pause it. Now, what did he say right there? That's a trigger word for you brothers in the truth.
I, sir.
Yes. And what again?
My.
Meaning what?
What was that, sir?
Meaning what? What is he trying to say?
Meaning that his dream, he's trying to push his dream and not God's law.
That's it. That's it.
Lucky other one.
That's it now. One minute, Hawan. And that is something you gotta pay real particular attention to. Because most of the time you try to talk to a family member, right? You try to talk to them about the truth, right? But they could read English, they could do everything. But there's a but, and the but is, what do they want? What do they want? That's why you always have to try to do what? You have to find. You're going to have to find that thing that they love and they want to hold on to this world. You understand? Martin Luther King had a dream that was his dream. And he tried to push his dream on the nation. You understand? Commander Johanna is not pushing his dream on a nation. He's pushing what? The truth. He's teaching the truth. He's doing what Christ did. You understand? Totally different. He's not doing something that he wants to do like Martin Luther King, what he's saying he wants to do. He had a dream that one day that what? Play that video again.
Come. It's like, sir.
Go ahead. Start it from the top.
I have a dream. I have a dream. My 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream.
I must confess that.
No, hold on. Pause it. You understand? Go back to the scripture. Now, who's reading the scripture for me?
I have it, sir.
Go ahead.
Jeremiah chapter 23 and verse 25.
Let Hawan read it for me.
Sir.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, verse 25. I have heard what the prophet said, that prophesied lies in my name, saying, I have dreamed. I have dreamed.
Mm-hmm. Go on.
Verse 26. How long shall this be in the heart of the prophets that prophesy lies?
And the Bible is saying that this prophet prophesied lies in my name.
That's
you
right.
Understand? Lies. You understand? Now, you today, black people doing what? Celebrating his birthday.
Okay.
Which means, what are they doing with Martin Luther King? What are they doing? What did the oppressor convince you to do?
Salakia, sir. To worship Martin Luther King.
You own it. You own it. Which means what? What are they making Martin Luther King?
Salakia, sir.
Come on.
They're making him an idol.
You right.
Salakia,
give me a put a nail in
Salakia, sir.
God.
Somebody say just now.
A God.
They're making him a god.
That's right.
You understand? Right. Because you know that whole birthday, that whole breakdown when it comes to birthday is actually you being a god on that day. Well, guess what your oppressor did? He was so slick with it and say, guess what? I'm gonna give you what? What today? January what? 16th. Right? I'm gonna give you this day to celebrate Martin Luther King. Meaning what? Now, if he is a god, what are you telling young black men, young black women?
Salakia, sir.
Go ahead, Yanazar.
To be like him.
Yes, to be like him. So therefore, put the statue up of him and Coretta Scott. Give me Tabo, and give me the scientific definition of that type of object.
It's like sir. With that statue, they need to add a whole lot more hands holding on to Martin Luther King. They need some white hands and
excuse you all our kids in the room?
Come on, sir.
One, put your arm, put your hand over your son's ears. They need to add some sack to that, Salakia. It looks like you know what. Yeah, that you know what I mean? Like, and they spent what 10 million on that. On that right there. Yes, on that. Look like that giant from what you call it from Game of Thrones take a dump in the park. And they just carve something out of it. You understand?
Good night.
That is horrible. That's what they think about us. You understand? Right? Now, my question to you is, how many of you know about Benedict Arnold? Hold on, let me see. Hold on, young man, Henry, young man in the Bahamas. Do you know what Benedict Arnold?
Slackies, I heard the name, but I don't know much about it.
Who know about Benedict Arnold? Somebody raising their hand in the back there.
Salaki, sir.
Uh-huh.
Only thing I know of Benedict Arnold, wasn't he like a traitor or something?
He was a what?
A traitor of some sort.
Okay, when they say traitor, what you mean?
He just, like his people or something.
He what?
I think I know about him.
And he got souls.
So like that one, if I may.
Uh-huh.
Benedict Arnold, according to Britannica, he was born January 14, 1741 in Norwich, Connecticut. He died June 14, 1801 in London, England. He was a patriot officer who served the cause of the American Revolution.
He was a what?
A patriot officer
Uh-huh.
who served the cause of the American Revolution until 1779, when he shifted his allegiance to the British. Thereafter, his name became an epithet for traitor in the United States.
Right. Now understand this, right? Remember, okay, before America was America, what was America known as?
Salaki, sir.
Uh-huh.
The 13 colonies.
Right, but meaning, okay, where did it come from?
British colony.
Right, British colony, correct. So which means what? That Benedict Arnold was trying to stop America from doing what?
From going against Britain.
From going against Britain, right?
Okay.
And they called him a what?
A traitor.
A traitor, right? Now, Tabo one, if you're skillful enough, find a picture or a statue of Benedict Arnold.
Salaki, sir.
Uh-huh.
I'm just about certain there's no such thing as an actual statue of Benedict Arnold.
You
sure? I think I know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Show me
very
a
sure there's
statue
no.
of Benedict Arnold.
There is no statue of Benedict Arnold. However, there's a statue of his boot.
Okay, cool. Come on. That's what I want to see. Show me the boot.
Come on, sir. I got you
Show
right
me
now.
the boot. Now, if Benedict Arnold could be a traitor to America, then Martin Luther King has to be a traitor to black people.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
No. If your kids was to walk past and see this boot, would they want to be like this man?
Sir.
Is there holiday for Benedict Arnold? There's no holiday for Benedict Arnold, which means America does not want to teach their kids to be what?
The Instagram real diverse. It's like
Benedict Arnold, sir.
They do not want to teach their kids to be like Benedict Arnold.
Other Israelites.
Right?
Come on, if I could, sir.
Who's talking in the background? You gotta keep it down. Come on, Tabo one.
I was gonna read the inscription.
Go ahead.
Come on, sir. Salakia. This is from the National Park Service, where this is located in Saratoga National Historical Park. It says the monument does not mention Arnold by name, but there are a few intricate details which often go unnoticed by passers-by. A boot and a two-star epaulet are draped over a howitzer barrel to symbolize an individual with the rank of Major General who suffered a wound during a battle in this location. A laurel leaf wreath sits atop the howitzer, an emblem which often resonates victory, power, and glory. This is what the inscription says. In memory of the most brilliant soldier of the Continental Army who was desperately wounded on this spot, the Sally Port of Burgoyne's Great Western Redoubt, 7th October 1777, winning for his countrymen the decisive battle of the American Revolution and for himself the rank of Major General.
Right.
But it never says his name.
Right. Never says his name. Now, why did they give him a boot?
Salaga, sir.
Uh-huh.
Could I get clarification? What was who was his stance first before he was a traitor?
He was He was on the American side.
Okay. And then he did what against Sluggy?
He went against them by joining. He there's a word they call it in military.
He defected or deserted.
That's it. He defected from America and went and joined with England because at first they were a colony of England, so he was working for England. You understand? And then America decided to go against Britain, which I believe it started with the whole them dumping the tea in the ocean, all the tea. Right? We started the American Revolution, and now he went against them, but he at first was fighting on their side.
Okay, calm.
He was fighting with America first, and then defected to England. And this they gave him an honor for his fight when he was fighting in the beginning with America.
Okay, calm, sir.
But they never gave him a statue like they gave us of Martin Luther King.
Right.
Show us the next big, ugly statue of Martin Luther King.
Come on, sir. Yeah, Salaki. So yeah, this is a statue to honor Benedict Arnold's injured foot, but not Benedict Arnold. Salaki, sir.
Right, but they didn't give him. They didn't have a birthday for him though.
All right.
They ain't trying to. America ain't trying to teach their sons to be traitors. But guess what? America will teach our sons to be traitors. You understand? We're going to have to fight against it in the spirit of the Lord by teaching our kids, teaching our young men not to be like Martin Luther King. And Martin Luther King going to tell you why not to be like him in 2 seconds. Now, what's this big giant statue of Martin Luther King? Now, young men growing up, coming to see this statue, this is, you know what I mean, is how high this statue is.
Think about 60 feet, sir.
You understand? You think a young boy watching that amazing, you know what I mean, ugly statue, you know what I mean, don't want themselves to be inscribed in some stone?
Come.
You understand? So what did he do to get himself inscribed on some stone? Or he joined the enemy.
Right.
He joined the oppressor.
That's right.
He hated his black people. You understand? Hispanics and Native Indians. And sided with the enemy. You understand? That is what's going to give you glory in this place, in America. You understand? Now play that tape. Play that tape.
Come on, sir. So, like you said, just a moment. Bear with me. Here we go.
I have a dream.
And all your grandmothers and them were crying. Your grandfathers were crying.
Come.
I must confess that
now he's saying what?
That I had has a minute.
What is he saying?
That dream that I had that day has a minute points turned. I must confess that
now pause it.
that
He's
dream
saying
that I
I
had
must
that day has.
confess. Now he's confessing that he did something what? What is he confessing?
He did something wrong. That he was not correct.
Wrong. Was not correct. He's confessing. Yet and still, your oppressor will still have him up as somebody to be glorified in the black community. He's confessing something here right now. Go and play it.
Come.
The minute points. I must confess that that dream that I had that day has a minute points turned into a nightmare. I'm not one to lose hope.
Say it again, sir.
He said it turned into what? A nightmare. And this is what? May 8, 1967. He recognized his dream was a nightmare. You can imagine what a nightmare times what 10 times.
Right.
You understand?
Like
he saw it back then. It was a nightmare. So what's going on right now in 2023? You understand? A black man getting tased to death because of him.
That's right.
Lucky, sir.
Come on.
And every time people try to rise up and show any kind of fight, they always pull Martin Luther King out there behind for us to calm down.
Yeah. Or somebody similar to him that have the same attributes that wants to join. So you go get Jesse Jackson, you go get Al Sharpton, and who's the new one on the block now?
Like it's William Barber. William Barber from the NAACP.
No. Who the people who have like civil rights issues? Who do they run to?
Al Sharpton, sir.
No, Al Sharpton. He gained a little washed up now. Yes, that's sausage head. Salakia. Benjamin Crump. You understand? You understand? Now they turn to him right now. He has the same one, the same mentality Martin Luther King has. Come on.
They did that same thing with Kyrie Irving when he said about the Jews, and they went and got LeBron James, and LeBron James was spotted with the Jewish rabbi.
Yes, you understand? Like they always try to, go get these Negroes that they have under control, these Uncle Toms that they have under control. And Martin Luther King breed a whole generation of what? Uncle Toms, of traitors. You understand?
Salaka, sir.
Come on.
I have an article from the FBI about something that they heard him saying in the hotel room.
Hold on, we coming to all that. Don't worry.
That's right.
we coming to all that. We're gonna expose him. You understand? We're gonna expose this man as being a fraud, a fraudster, a traitor. You understand? Who black people should not aspire to be, but learn from his mistake. Learn from his mistake. You understand? Go ahead and play the video.
Come on.
I keep on hoping. It's turned into a nightmare. Now, I'm not one to lose hope. I keep on hoping. I still have faith in the future. But I've had to analyze many things over the last few years, and I would say over the last few months. I've gone through a lot of soul agonizing moments. And I've come to see that we have difficult days ahead, and some of the old optimism was a little superficial. Now it's tempered with a
Number one, I think you might have to pause it on your side. Not pause it, but mute it on your side. Mute your
Come on, sir. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Let me play it again?
No, let's continue. Let's hit play.
Come on, sir. Let me mute myself first. Salaki.
Mm-hmm.
On through a lot of difficult days ahead, and some of the old optimism was a little superficial, and now it must be tempered with a solid realism. And I think the realistic fact is that we still have a long, long way to go, and that we are involved in a war on Asian soil, which, if not checked and stopped, can poison the very soul of our nation. I'm not going to say that all of our problems will be solved if the war in Vietnam is ended, but I do say that the war makes it infinitely more difficult to deal with these problems. When a nation becomes obsessed with the guns of war, it loses its social perspective, and programs of social uplift suffer. This is just a fact of history, so that we do face many more difficulties as a result of the war. It's much more difficult to really arouse a conscience during a time of war. There is something about a war like this that makes people insensitive. It dulls the conscience. It strengthens the forces of reaction, and it brings violence. I think the biggest problem, we got our gains and rich. In fact, it helped the economic side.
It's breaking up on your side?
Accommodation.
Yeah, breaking up.
Get
Tabo one.
Salagi, sir?
Is it breaking up on your side?
Not on our side, but I mean, I can get rid of some links up here. Maybe that'll make it go a little faster and be smoother.
Yeah,
Salagi.
do that, because some of the things he's saying, they're not hearing it.
It's not gonna look as good, but maybe this will help.
Yeah. Let's see. Go ahead.
We do face many more difficulties as a result of the war. It's much more difficult to really arouse the conscience during a time of war. There is something about a war like this that makes people insensitive. It dulls the conscience. It strengthens the forces of reaction, and it brings into being bitterness and hatred and violence. I think the biggest problem now is that we got our gains over the last 12 years at bargain rate, so to speak. Didn't cost the nation anything. In fact, it helped the economic side of the nation to integrate lunch.
You see what he's speaking about right now, right? You hear what he's talking about, the bargaining rights, right? Money. You understand? And who is he making an excuse for? When he speaks about the war.
So like, if I may, sir.
One.
He's making an excuse for the oppressor.
For the oppressor. You understand? So now the attention is drawn away from the civil rights, and now the attention is on what?
The war, I want us coming together so we can fight a war.
Yes, the Vietnam War. So he's saying it's difficult. You understand? When what he should have done was never ever try to join us to this oppressor.
So like, I want.
Come on.
I think what his name? Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali said that he said he ain't got no quarrel with Viet Cong, and because he said that they ended up stripping him of his title and putting him in prison because he knew the war wasn't for black folks. Sir.
That's it. You understand? Like, if he was in the right mind, no black man would have he would have been telling black men and black women not to even join the military. That war is not yours. We should stay separate. We should try to have our own buses, our own schools, our own everything, business, everything.
Right.
You understand?
Okay.
He went and put us into a burning house. And now he sees that his dream was a nightmare to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Right.
You understand? Everybody did not want to sit down in the white man's restaurant. They can't cook. You understand? We're not fighting to sit down in their restaurant. Wasn't fighting to drink from their water fountain or sit on his toilets. But that was Martin Luther King's fight, and he brought it and made it our fight. You understand? And now look at us. And he in 1967 recognizing what he did was wrong. But guess what? Your oppressors still do. He still went and gave him a statue. He still went and gave him a holiday.
Right.
He still do it. Play go ahead and play some more.
Okay.
Public accommodations. It didn't cost the nation anything to get the right to vote established. And now we are confronting issues that cannot be solved without costing the nation billions of dollars. Now, I think this is where we're getting our greatest resistance. They may put it on many other things, but we can't get rid of slums and poverty without it costing the nation something. I feel that nonviolence is really the only way that we can follow.
No,
because,
pause that. What is he quoting? Not nonviolent. Where's he quoting? Where's he getting all that from?
Mahatma Gandhi, sir.
Yes. He studied Mahatma Gandhi and got that from Mahatma Gandhi. He tried to follow what the East Indians were doing, but he didn't follow them to a T. You understand? What was the East Indian doing that Martin Luther King wasn't doing? What were they doing? Guess what they were doing?
The East Indian, they were separated from with the British at the time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. He left out the part where we just want to be by ourselves, separate, no issues, nothing. Just leave us alone. But he's quoting Mahatma Gandhi and not doing what Mahatma Gandhi was doing. And to hell with that so-called heathen. Let's do what the Bible says to the Bible. Tell us separate from your oppressor. He should have been telling us back then not to celebrate what?
Christmas.
Not to celebrate what?
Thanksgiving.
Not to celebrate what?
4th of July.
4th of July. He should have been telling us not to do these things. And now it would have been what? Now it would have been what?
So what was that?
Now it would have been what? If he had told us to do all these things, right? Then he could have come and say what?
Peaceful protest?
Yes, we're peaceful. We're peaceful. We're just not participating in America. That's it. If he was doing what Commander Johanna is teaching the brothers and sisters in the Isupk to do, it would have been right. It would have been okay. It would have been peaceful as ever. Right? Non-violent. You understand? But that wasn't him. His non-violent still had some piece of what? Integration. He wanted us to integrate into their communities because he wanted to be what? I don't want to give it away. We're going to come to it. We're going to see what he really loved.
Salagi, sir.
Come on.
Can I ask, was Michael Luther King actual, like, was he a pastor? Like, did he actually preach in the church sometime? Or?
Yes, he was a preacher. We coming to all that. You're gonna see how good your how good your preachers is. And tell me if you're any different from your preacher in your church. Come on, go ahead.
So, like I said, continue, sir.
Yeah, continue.
Okay.
Violence is just so self-defeating. A riot ends up creating many more problems for the nation. Through violence, burn down a building, but you can't establish justice. You can murder violence. You can murder a hater, but you can't murder hate. And what we should get rid of is hate and injustice. All of these other things continue the long night.
I'm back to Jeremiah and read a little more in Jeremiah. Kawan, I think Kawan was reading.
So he went to go pick up the brother.
Okay, then somebody continue.
I'll read it.
I got Trooper QP.
Salaki Adawan, I'll read it.
Go ahead.
We're on the 27th verse. Or start from the about the 25th verse again.
It's 25.
25? Okay. Salaki, sir. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23 and 25. I have heard what the prophet said, that prophesy lies in my name, saying, I have dreamed. Verse 26.
Mm-hmm.
How long shall this be in the heart of the prophets that prophesy lies? Yea, they are the prophets of the deceit of their own heart.
That's it. They are prophets after the seat of their own heart. Meaning Martin Luther King, he loved the oppressor. He wanted his kids to hold hand in hand with the oppressor. He wanted it. You understand? That's what he wanted, not what the Lord wanted. You understand? Right? Now give me what's his name? Tab one. Go to the next video. Go to the next video. Right? And you all could do the research on Mahatma Gandhi and see also too, you know what I mean? See, you know what I mean, and you'll see that there's a strong correlation between what Mahatma Gandhi was doing and what Martin Luther King was trying to push on the black community.
Salakia, sir.
Come on.
You want verse 28?
Go ahead. Read it for me.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23 and verse 28. The prophet that hath a dream, let him tell a dream. And he that have my word, let him speak my word faithfully.
Mm-hmm.
What is the chaff to the wheat, saith the Lord?
Right? And that's what the Lord was saying. If you have a dream, let it be what? My dream. Let him tell it to the people. Right? Martin Luther King came out and said that his dream was a nightmare, which means it was not from the Lord. And he knew it. It was from him. Right? Play the other video for me. I think I had the time stamp for it to tab one. Right? And we're going to get into, you know what I mean, what Martin Luther King really had in his heart. Go ahead, tab one.
The Negro leaders, Martin Luther King, for example. The other mentioned.
Well, I do know what he thought of him later. When he said what an incredible speaker he was during that Freedom March thing, and when he acknowledged that having made that call during the campaign got them. Then he told me of a tape that the FBI had of Martin Luther King when he was here for the Freedom March. And he said this with no bitterness or anything. How he was calling up all these girls and arranging for a party of men and women, sort of an orgy in the hotel and everything.
Martin Luther King?
You having a what? I know she didn't say what I think she said.
That the FBI had of Martin Luther King when he was here for the Freedom March. And he said this with no bitterness or anything. How he was calling up all these girls and arranging for a party of men and women, sort of an orgy in the hotel. How he was calling up all these girls and arranging for a
that's
party
why they call him Orgy
men
Mike.
and women, sort of an orgy
Pause
in the
it.
hotel. He was calling.
Pause it. That's Orgy Mike, right? That's your preacher. You understand? He's your preacher. And the FBI, and this goes for you, blacks and Hispanics out there who think you could do some evil and your oppressor not know about it. If you're selling drugs, your oppressor knows about it. If you're pimping your woman, your oppressor knows about it. Whatever sin you're committing on a national level, whatever scale it is, he knows what you're doing. He has the tapes. He has the recordings. You understand? Don't think with your simple behind that, you just kind on a regular, a regular life. You're nuts. He knows what you're doing. He knows Martin Luther King was in that hotel doing what? Having orgies with men and women, which lets you know Martin Luther King was what?
He was gay.
Yes.
Gay.
You having orgies, which means what?
That's
with men and women, which means what?
That means that's gay sex.
Yes, which means the sabers are out. You understand? They're out. And they have, as how to put it, let me put it as so I don't get kicked off of Facebook. They having making gay love. You understand? They're having gay sex. Let me put it like that. Right? And that's your preacher. Now that's who you want your son to be like. And this is what they don't tell you, right? They don't tell you when you go against the Lord, the way Martin Luther King go against the Lord. They think is just, you know what I mean, at the surface, well, he had a dream, and that's about it. No, beneath the surface, there are other things that come with disobeying the Lord. You understand? Like, don't think, well, it's like somebody leaving the truth and saying, well, I don't have to be in here to serve the Lord. Right? Not because we not inside your house don't mean the Lord are keeping record of you smoking weed, of you having sex with hoes. You understand? That's the fine print that I don't tell you. That living outside of this school, you will live a type of life that is very close or nigh onto Martin Luther King. Go ask them Christian men who have the wife at home and in the strip club. You understand? Like, don't think that you could just, you know what I mean, not being the truth. You could just read the Bible on your own and live a normal life. You're not going to live a normal life. You're going to live something close to Martin Luther King. Something very close to him. You understand? Read on.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23 and verse 29.
No. Give me First Maccabees.
Okay, Salaki, sir.
First Maccabees 1 and 11. Right? Now, Tabo, coming back to the video while the brother got the scripture. Let's get some more orgy mic. You know what I mean? When you push your sons to be like Martin Luther King, they are going to go into a life of sin. That's it. They're going to go into a life of sin, and you're going to wonder why your son is doing all manner of evil because he's following after Martin Luther King. Go on.
Know what he thought of him later. When he said what an incredible speaker he was during that Freedom March thing, and when he acknowledged that having made that call during the campaign got them. Then he told me of a tape that the FBI had of Martin Luther King when he was here for the Freedom March. And he said this with no bitterness or anything. How he was calling up all these girls and arranging for a party of men and women, sort of an orgy in the hotel and everything.
Martin Luther King?
Oh, yeah.
That man say like Martin Luther King, like he's shocked. He's shocked. Martin Luther King was doing all of this? Yes, he was. You understand?
Oh, Jack, that's so terrible. That man is, such a phony then. No, this wasn't good.
Well, there goes your slave master telling you he's a what? He's a phony, and he's a terrible man based on his lifestyle. There he goes. Right? Come on.
This was when there was just one girl. They had the conversation. And Jack said, oh, well, he would never judge anyone in any sort of way. Oh, well, they never really said anything against Martin Luther King. Since then, Bobby's told me of the tapes of these orgies they have and had Martin Luther King made fun of Jack's funeral and made fun of Cardinal Cushing and said that he was drunk at it. And things about they almost dropped the coffin. Well, Martin Luther King is really a tricky person, but I wouldn't know. He never said anything against Martin Luther King to me. So
you understand?
I don't know if he
that's good there. That just goes to show you what's what's behind the scene. Like, you just think this is a charismatic speaker, and You listen to him, and he sounds like the Lord is speaking to him. Brother, Satan is speaking to him. If he's telling you to join hand in hand with your enemy, Satan is speaking to him. You know what I mean? Ain't the Lord. You understand? Now give me what First Maccabees.
Salaki, sir.
Come on.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who
Went out of Israel what?
Israel, in those days went there out of Israel wicked men.
Wicked men. Listen to what wicked men are doing. Read.
Who persuaded many.
Who what?
Who persuaded many.
What did Martin Luther King do?
Who persuaded many.
Persuaded many. He persuaded many people into thinking that we could have a nice life by joining our oppressor. Now you join your oppressor, and guess what? You're still a slave. Still a servant. Read.
Saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
And make a what?
Make a covenant with the heathen.
What did Martin Luther King want us to do? Join hand in hand. The slave master. He wanted to make a covenant with your oppressor. That's why if you go look at tapes with Martin Luther King, right? When he was speaking in Washington, D.C., down at the monument, right? Who was there? Who was present? Who was present?
Was it the president, sir?
No, don't just think don't think a single person. I'm talking about like race, nations. Who was present?
Black people. Whites and blacks.
Yes. Just like your what? Movement today. Like your what movement today?
Black Lives Matter movement.
And what other movement today?
LGBTQ.
What your what?
The LGBTQ, sir?
Okay, yeah, but okay. LGBTQ, they're not for black people.
Salaki, sir.
Organizations that are mainly for black people.
Salaki.
Uh-huh.
Like the Black Panther Party.
The Black Panther Party. Who again?
Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, somebody said the Black Lives Matter already. Who again?
NAACP.
NAACP. Now, all of them, inclusive of what? Your oppressor, which means they have not learned their lesson from Martin Luther King. They're still striving to be like Martin Luther King because your oppressor is pushing Martin Luther King as being somebody you should be like. So now all these organizations that claim is actually for you, they're not for you. The NAACP is for who?
America, sir.
For all the colored people. And who are colored people? Who will be included in the colored people?
Chinese, Indian.
Yes. Now you're thinking NAACP started off with what? For being for what? Black people. Now they're all about inclusion. So guess what? White people could join too. We need white people to help us. We need the Caucasians to help us. We need the Christians to help us, right? Not according to the Bible. Come on.
The heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
But since we have departed from them, what?
We have had much sorrow.
Meaning what? if you had to bring it back to Martin Luther King, what is he saying?
He's led his people into the burning house.
Yeah, but okay, I will describe it. Describe it for me. Gotta describe it to black people. What is he saying?
Salaki, sir, if I may.
Come on.
What he's telling black people is that they can't get along without the oppressor, man.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yes, but this part, read this part over one more time.
Since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
For we have had much what?
Sorrow.
We have had much sorrow.
Salakia, sir.
Come on.
Is it saying since, like, is it like he's talking about since we've so-called become out of slavery, we've still had so much sorrows?
Yes, but okay. Bring it to Martin Luther King. Since the topic is Martin Luther King, right? Come on.
If we decide to not join with our oppressor, then we are going to suffer. But if we decide to integrate with our oppressor, then we will not suffer.
Yeah, okay, you are correct, but I want you to bring it to the part where, or the point where, before Martin Luther King, right? Did we have schools? Were our schools as good as the so-called oppressor own? Right, meaning as good, meaning the infrastructure. It was not. Well,
sir.
Come on.
Yeah, is he saying since we cannot use the white man swimming pool and go to him school, you know what I mean? We have had sorrows, meaning we not get the finest out of life, top quality this, top quality that.
Now you're hitting it. Come on.
Is it if he's saying that we can't survive without the oppressor?
That's basically where they're trying to take it. That's why if you have any conversation with a brother who in love with your oppressor, he is going to carry it to that point. He's going to take it to that point, whereas it's going to be difficult to live without him. Because guess what? Who makes toilet paper?
The oppressor.
You understand? So now he's thinking, if we say we're going to separate from your so-called oppressor, what you going to clean your behind with? Who makes newspaper?
Your oppressor, sir.
So where you going to clean it behind with?
A leaf in the forest.
Right? He ain't doing that. We ain't doing that, brother. That type of sacrifice, you're not doing that. You understand? And he will take it to the point where, well, the shoes you have on, the clothes you have on, who it belongs to?
The oppressor, sir.
Right. You understand? So in their mind, they're thinking just like this man right here, just like this so-called leader that wants to go join with the oppressor, with the heathen. He's thinking, as you say, the essence of it, we cannot survive without them. We can't have the finest things in life without them. We need their buses with the air condition. We need their fountains that is nice and clean. We need their toilets that is nice and clean. We need their toilets. We need their stores.
Could you also correlate this to the Israelites when we left captivity in Egypt?
Yes. Yes. When we left Egypt and they went into the wilderness, the ox, I believe it was Aaron, did Moses bring us out here to die? You understand? That's the same as this. And once you recognize that you have to now, you know what I mean, dig in deep and have to make some sacrifices, oh, you don't want to do that. You want to take the easy way out and join your oppressor. And Martin Luther King took the easy way out to join in his oppressor. And he thought he could have turned the time back. But the oppressor is such, you know what I mean? He is such a cunning man that you can't. You do something like that, it's very hard to turn back around. You understand? And then give him a chance to do it. Because right after, soon after he said it, when was Martin Luther King killed?
I think it was, if my mom serves me, I think it was April 4th, 1968.
Somebody look it up. But somebody look it up. Tell me when.
April 4th, 1968. Is that right?
Was it when?
Correct. Yeah, he was right, sir.
April 4th, what?
1968, sir.
And that's 1 year after he recognized. Oh, was it 1 year? I think it was the same year he recognized that he put the people in the burning house. The oppressor didn't give him a chance to even turn around.
Salagi, sir.
Come on.
He was sending him letters telling him that they was going to air out all his dirty laundry. If he didn't, stop what he was doing, they was against him. So, within a year, they ended up killing him.
Yes, we're gonna come to some of it. We're gonna come to some of the nice things. I'm being sarcastic for those of you out there. What Martin Luther King did was totally against the Lord, totally evil, totally wicked. I'm saying nice things. I'm being very sarcastic. We're going to come to some of the evil things this preacher did, and still wanted to lead black people. You can't do that. You can't be a drug addict. You can't be any type of addict and want to, lead black people. You understand? You want to be a sinner? You can't be a sinner. I should say that. You cannot be a sinner and lead black people at the same time too. It's not going to work. Never work. Right? Read on in Maccabees.
Sir. This is the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 12. So this device pleased them well.
So this device pleased them what? Well, this plan that was devised pleased them well. Read on.
Verse 13. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them a license to do after the ordinances of the heathen.
And that's what Martin Luther King did. The president at the time was who? Lyndon B. Johnson.
God.
Right? That's who he spoke to and gave him what license to do what he wanted to do. To go speak on that mall and tell them Negroes, them ninjas, to join hand with us. Integrate. You integrated your money. That's all you integrated, black man. And you lose all your what? Your stores. You lose all your Black Wall Street. You lost everything because of integration. Right?
God.
No. Stop there. Tab on. Get me that other video now. Not other video, but this is what to do, right? See if you can do this. Just put a picture up of him and then play this next one. Right? While Tab one getting that, somebody give me Matthew 23.
So just put a picture up of MLK, sir.
Yes, put a picture of MLK. Play him up in suit and tie. Give me a nice picture of MLK.
Okay.
Okay, sir. I got Matthews. What verse you need, sir?
Start at verse 1.
Karaman Khan. Then this is the book of Matthew, chapter 23, verse 1. Then spake Jesus to the multitude and to his disciples. Verse 2, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat.
And that's like Martin Luther King at that time. He would be somebody who is sitting in Moses' seat. Right? Read on.
Verse 3. All therefore, whatsoever they bid you, observe. That observe and do.
And now you can't even say that with him. You can't observe and do what he's doing when we're about to read what he was actually doing. You understand?
Come on,
we're going to see Martin Luther King's intention. Read.
But do not ye after their works.
Christ is telling you, don't do after their works. Today you can't even observe these buggers. If you're observing them, you have to learn from them. You understand? You got to learn from them. From their mistakes, I should say. Right? Read on.
But do not ye after their works, for they say and do not.
Yes, say and what?
And do not.
And do not. In his case, he said what he said and went ahead and did it. He wanted to join with so-called the oppressor, and he went ahead and did it. He joined the oppressor so much he was having orgies. Right? Those of you out there, orgies are what? Unlawful sex. You understand? It's unlawful sex. It's fornication. And it's a sin. And he's a preacher and he doesn't know that. He doesn't know what he's doing is a sin. And he wants to lead black people and nation. Read on.
Verse 4. For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne.
For you telling black people to hold hands with the oppressor is you putting a heavy burden on them. You putting a heavy burden on them. You are asking them to do what? What are you asking them to do?
To carry the burden of racism and take whatever the white man hands out to you.
But what are you actually asking them to do when you tell them to join hands with their oppressor?
So like if I do the other one? To sell out to the oppressor?
Yeah. I'm looking for some specific. And the reason why I'm saying this is like this. If the so-called Jewish man, right, there was any Jewish leader that came out and said, we should all join hand in hand with the so-called Germans and Nazis so that we all could, live together. What is that saying about that Jewish leader?
So like you said, he wants us to forget about the crimes that was committed against our people.
On it now. He wants us to forget about our ancestors. And we have forgotten about our ancestors. We forgot that they were enslaved. We've forgotten. And how I know we've forgotten? We don't teach our kids this. Like, you know what it is to tell your kids, we're going to join hand in hand with the oppressor. When the oppressor has the oppressor paid for his crimes, was there any justice given to black people? Now, if there was any justice given to black people, why are you telling me to join hand in hand? Why are you telling me this? You are telling me this because you want me to forget about Sitting Bull. You want me to forget about Nat Turner. You want me to forget about my forefathers that were murdered and killed on the way to the Americas.
Salaki, sir.
Come on.
What was the scripture again that y'all was just reading?
You understand? Tell him where you're at.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 23, and we read verses 1 through 4.
Good. No, you understand? Continue.
And lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers.
He not moving them. He don't have to suffer what you suffer because he's getting paid. So he able to live that life. That flashy life he wants to live. That life with the oppressor. You don't have the money to live near the oppressor. You have enough money to make it to work for the oppressor. You understand?
Slaggy, sir.
Come on.
Guys, a question. It's kind of on topic, kind of off, but it's about like is it wrong for us in the truth to not reverence, but I guess acknowledge the attempts of like Harriet Tubman and Nat Turner and people like that, considering that they didn't have the truth? Is it wrong to big up Harriet Tubman for her efforts?
No. Okay. No, it's not wrong to big up for her efforts. But what you're going to always have to do is you're going to have to tie it back to the fact that the reason why it did not, was it a success?
Sir.
Oh, you know it wasn't a success.
Because we still in slavery.
All right. But her intentions was to try and do what?
To free us from slavery.
Yes, but that's not how you're going to get freed. And that's what you always have to bring it back to. Tubman tried. Nat Turner tried. And they failed. So we can't try their way also too. The intentions were good. But in the truth, intentions doesn't count.
Right.
You understand?
Come.
You're going to have to do what the Bible said to do. You're going to have to do what the Lord said to do. You're going to have to do what Christ taught us to do. You're going to have to do what Commander Jerry Hanna is teaching you to do right here. You understand? That's what's going to get us out of captivity. But what they did, they had the right, you know what I mean? They had the right, you know what I mean, intentions. But intentions are not enough.
Come, sir.
All right? Read on.
Verse 5. But all their works they do for to be seen of men.
All their works, they what?
All their works they do for to be seen of men.
Their works, there it goes again, their work. Not the Lord work, their work. Come on, Tabo One, work with me. Keep that picture up there with him. Yeah. For men to see. You know which people are watching him right now? People who children want to grow up to want to be like this bastard. Read on.
They make broad their phylacteries and enlarge.
Go ahead.
And enlarge the borders of their garments.
Meaning they want to look nice. Look at him in his nice suit and tie. The nice shape up. How the cuffs. Nice cuffs. Look good. Now guess what? A poor black man gonna do? He gonna aspire to be like that. He wants to look like that. You understand? All right. Now, Tabo One, play the last one for me. Just the audio. And then keep this, if you can make this picture big on the screen. Yeah.
Salagi, sir.
Uh-huh.
You got a cat in there with you, sir?
No.
Salagi. No sweat.
No, I don't know about that. Somebody else might be having meow, not me.
Daily Mail, Christian Post, The Independent. You're not going to see a CNN or NBC.
No. Tab 1. I give you a timestamp.
Con. So you wrote from 5.
Right?
Con, so that's it.
Okay, go ahead. My bad.
Con, sir.
From the Daily Mail, just reading from the top of the article, it says, listening through headsets into the bugged hotel suite next door, the small group of FBI agents couldn't quite believe the sordid events that were unfolding. It was January 1964, and they were hearing what sounded like a pastor raping a female member of his congregation while his boss looked on, laughing and offering advice. The voices of both men were familiar. According to the agents sitting in the Willard Hotel, Washington, D.C., the rapist was an assistant to civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr., and his cohort and his chortling companion was the anti-racism icon himself. The man whose I Have a Dream speech delivered a year earlier continues to inspire activists to this day. It goes on, but King's exalted status could be about to unravel. For according to a Pulitzer Prize-winning biographer of King, newly released FBI files reveal that the binge-drinking preacher had affairs with 40 to 45 women, indulged in hotel room orgies, and even fathered an illegitimate child.
How much he had? 40 to what? 45 women?
Man whose I Have a Dream speech delivered a year earlier continues to inspire activists to this day. It goes on, but King's exalted status could be about to unravel. For according to a Pulitzer Prize-winning biographer of King, newly released FBI files reveal that the binge-drinking preacher had affairs with 40 to 45 women.
The binge-drinking preacher. In other words, what's a nice? What's a nice? What's the real word?
Slug, sir.
Huh?
He was an alcoholic.
Yes, he was a drunk. And guess what? If you're confronting Martin Luther King on this, guess what he would have said?
Drink one.
Yeah, I was drunk, man. Always trying to blame the liquor. Don't blame the liquor. Blame your lust-filled, black self. Because you're lust-filled. You understand? And you love Caucasian women. I'm sure the 40 of them, or I should say, let me give you a percent, maybe 90% of them were Caucasians. And the other 10% could have been sisters. I don't know. But based on his movement, right? On his movement, he was trying to be in bed with your so-called oppressor. Now, let's play. I know you heard the word rape in there also too, right?
Con.
You know that he is a what? A rapist is a what?
A murderer.
A murderer, but give me something that, tell me, give me a root to it. He is a what?
A fornicator, sir.
No.
Oh, he a homosexual, sir.
Yeah, he is gay. Nigh onto gay. He is gay. You understand? You want to beat women, you want to force women, you are gay. And there's records of him indulging in that type of act. Do you understand?
No.
Read on.
Verse 6. And love the uppermost rooms at feast.
You understand? He wanted to be where? With who?
With the president and the politicians and people like that.
In other words, he wanted to be with who?
The oppressor, sir.
The oppressor. He wanted his kids to hold hand in hand with the oppressor. He wanted his kids in the room with him.
It's like your
one.
Even earlier, he was possessive pronouns in my and I.
Yes.
Come.
That's what he wanted, right? Read on.
And the chief seat in the synagogues.
He wanted a chief seat. He wanted to be the so-called what? Black leader. They want to lead you into the promised land. That's what he wanted. He wanted to be a Moses. Right? Let the video play. Let somebody video play.
King's exalted status could be about to unravel. For according to a Pulitzer Prize-winning biographer of King, newly released FBI files reveal that the binge-drinking preacher had affairs with 40 to 45 women, indulged in hotel room orgies, and even fathered an illegitimate child. The documents also paint a violent picture of King, whose lust could soon turn to anger. In May 1965, for example,
now you see what I'm saying. He's showing all the signs of an LGBTQ member. He's showing all the signs. He's a drunk, he's violent. That's when you read when it was the first encounter of homosexual, how were they? Were they peaceful?
Sorry.
All the events in the Bible when it comes to the so-called LGBTQ, were they peaceful? They were not peaceful. You understand? Come on.
Sir, verse 7. And greetings in the markets, and to be called of men, Rabbi, Rabbi.
To be called of men, Dr. Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King, Reverend Martin Luther King, Reverend Martin Luther King. Read on.
Verse 8. But be not ye called Rabbi, for one is your master, even
one
Christ.
is your master. Even who?
Even Christ.
Read on.
And all ye are brethren. Verse 9. And
Right.
call.
I think that's it with that one. Give me where it say skip down to
13.
Yes.
Come. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 23 and verse 13. But woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye shut up the kingdom of heaven against men.
Ye what?
Ye shut up the kingdom of heaven against men.
You brothers and sisters who are on the mall looking at those statues, or in that park looking at that statues, Martin Luther King did what?
Shut up heaven, the kingdom of heaven against men.
Against men. He shut the kingdom of heaven up against us. You understand? He shut them up. Those people, all those black people is seen right there. It's his fault if they don't make it into the kingdom of heaven. His fault. He shut the doors up. And he taught this generation to teach that next generation, to teach this generation today. You understand? He shut the doors. So now black people, they can't see a kingdom of heaven without who?
The oppressor.
Yeah, without the oppressor. You tell somebody that the kingdom of heaven is only going to have blacks. I should use the web term, ninjas, right? Wetbacks and savages. I'll be, oh hell no! I don't want to be in that kingdom. That ain't the kingdom of heaven. So wait, what's going to happen to the so-called oppressor? They don't ask about the Chinese. They don't ask about the African. They don't ask about any other race. They want to know what's going to happen to Massa. And you tell them Massa is going to be in chains when Christ returns? Oh, hell no. I don't want to serve that God. All right, Negro. Don't serve it. I'm going to be looking at you just like we're going to look at Martin Luther King from this day forth. A sinner. You understand? A sinner that should not be given the name or the title of being a black leader, because he's not. He is a traitor. And you want to be like him, you are going to be a traitor to your people. You better teach your kids. Better teach them. Don't be like this man. don't like what he liked. You understand? Read on. No, no, read on. Hold on. Play a little more. I think we're coming down to the end of the that tape.
The civil rights leader had gone to the home of one of his female staff and torn her clothes off of her in an apparent
And what? Oh, not Martin Luther King.
A child. The documents also paint a violent picture of King, whose lust could soon turn to anger. In May 1965, for example, one agent reported that the civil rights leader had gone to the home of one of his female staff.
I know, pause that, right? Pause it. No, just imagine that. They have all the evidence in the world to lock this bastard up.
Yep.
To lock him up. Because he deserved to be in a prison. Because he's raping. He's beating women. He's violent. But yet and still, they let him be. Why did they let him be? Let me see if you are with me. Why did they lock him up?
Salakia, sir. If I may, because he was serving the purpose of the oppressor.
Very good. Meaning he was working for the oppressor. You drug dealers out there, why you think you're in lockup? Because you are serving the purpose for the oppressor. You are working for the oppressor. You are helping them keep black people in the state they're in. You understand? You Christians, you Muslims, you're helping your oppressor keep black people in the state they're in. You're helping them. You're working for them. You're working. Martin Luther King was working for the so-called oppressor. He was working for him. So no matter what he did, they would not have what? Locked him up. And now you telling me you give a day to a rapist? To somebody who was a domestic violent, who believed in it, and you give a day for him? What are you teaching young kids? Is raping okay?
Lie, sir.
Is beating a woman okay?
Lie, sir.
Is having orgies okay?
Lie, sir.
Then why we have a statue for this man? Why is there a statue up for him? Why is it a day celebrated for him? Why is it so held in high renown? Come on.
It's like the other one, if I may, they give people statues and they hold in a high regard of anybody that you can say is a good slave to America.
Yes. Because they want you to be like him. And guess what? They may turn the back depending on how much, how to put it, how invested they are in you. Or they might just lock you up and make you do time.
So like I said,
come on.
If I could, just like a question that's relative to today, in regards to like MLK, of course there's other holidays and things like that, but specifically this one, how do you teach, or how do you train up children when they go to school tomorrow and there's a bunch of MLK posters and, oh, praise Martin Luther King. Like, what should we be prepared for? What do we teach our children? And then how do we deal with the repercussions that we know are coming with sending our daughters and our sons out to say, Martin Luther King, I'm not worshiping Martin Luther King. I ain't doing that.
Right. By telling them the truth, telling them what he did. By saying what he did. By him trying to join us to the oppressor. By him, there's evidence of him raping, having orgies, right? Now, your young daughter, you may just want to, you may want to just tell them, he tried to do something that was opposite to Christ. You understand? He tried to join us to the enemies. Right? You're going to know exactly, what to say based on the age. They may not understand what an orgy is. They may not understand, what rape is. But you could say he's violent towards women, extremely violent towards women. You understand? And that this is not somebody you should want to be like. You should not want to follow. You understand? You should not want a man like this. You understand? Right? You go ahead.
So it's like from say I'm a woman. I mean, from a woman's standpoint, right? What if she fears that by teaching her children the truth, or not just teaching her children the truth, but by teaching her children to speak the truth in elementary school, middle school, things like that, that they may ostracize her, or the children may become at risk for being so different in this society? Like, how would you counsel that?
Okay, being this, it's like this. Okay, when a child go to school, right? What is a child going to school to do? What's the purpose?
To learn mathematics.
Yeah, to learn the school, right? Learn work. Now, if they have to write a paper, right? You're gonna have to be the one teaching them. You're gonna have to be the one telling them. You know what I mean? If you're gonna write on this one, you're gonna have to write on the fact that we should not follow after him. We should not want to be like him and give them examples. You understand what I'm saying? No, I'm not telling you to go teach your kids to do a camp speaking in school. You understand? But we would want to make sure that once she leaves that house and she goes to that school, if they try to push anything on Martin Luther King, or any any leader that that was not after, wasn't trying to how to put it, be after, look after Black people, you want her to know that basically Slaki, Professor Slaki, teacher, whatever, teacher, give my teacher name, Karen. Yeah, says Karen. Excuse me, Karen. But Martin Luther King, did not love Black people. My father told me that this is what he did. This is that, the other, and that's the truth. You understand? I know if she try to push it, you're gonna have to teach your kids to push back on it and say, nah, this is how it is. Rah rah rah. Teacher may let it go, and he may get a call in the afternoon saying your child may have been very disrespectful, and then you have to, teach your child, this is how you say it, this is how you do it. You understand? It's different how to put it. It might be different scenarios. You understand? I'm just giving you like an overall view of how to, go about doing it. You understand what I'm saying? It might be the same for everybody, but you're gonna have to teach your kids the truth and teach them not to succumb to, to somebody who's trying to push lies on them. You understand?
Okay. Well, Salaki, if I could, as Salaki Hakim, I know I'm asking a lot, Salaki.
You go ahead.
So let's say two hypothetical scenarios. First scenario, your child writes a paper on Martin Luther King, and they write it, a general paper, whatever, and they get an A on it. And in the second scenario, they write the truth about Martin Luther King, and they get an F. And there is no pushing back. It's either they get an F for teaching the truth, or they get an A for teaching the, not telling the truth. As a parent in the truth, do we accept that child taking that F for teaching the truth, or do we try to maneuver and get that A?
I would go and ask it. I would go sit down with the teacher and find out why my child get an F.
God.
Right, and if it's because of I tell you something from experience. Right? Most of the times a teacher may do that because of quotes. You understand? I sit in quotes and certain how to put it, certain authors. Right? And this is mainly like college, maybe high school, where they may have to write with the, certain, I think it's MLA and Chicago style writing.
Yeah,
now, if they're not following that style of writing, your teacher may give you an F.
Right.
But, in those lower level, like elementary school and thing, once they, they keep the language, PG-13 or whatever, you know what I mean, it's less a pushback. But most of the pushback will come in college, in high school. Understand? And you're gonna have to make sure you're gonna have to find a way to be within the guidelines. You know, it's like with the YouTube, like it's like you being in somebody's house. You're gonna have to find a way to say the truth inside somebody's house. You understand what I'm saying? You don't have to dumb it down, but you're gonna have to find a way to say it. What I call it? Not political, but intellectual. You understand? With the college language. So certain things certain terms you may not be able to say. Like you may not be able to say in your writing, well, according to the Bible, the white man is the devil.
So like, so
your teacher gonna be like, what the hell is that? Where you get that from? Where you quote that from? Who quote that? Where in the Bible says that? You understand what I'm saying?
God, sir.
You're gonna have to find a way to be intellectual with it. Come on.
So like,
Come on.
So I know what we have did, me and my rib, when it comes to like stuff like that with the kids in school and stuff. What we do is we communicate with the teacher our stance on certain things that they probably have homework on. And what the teacher would do is they would either give them a different assignment, or they would say, oh, well, we still want them to do the assignment. And so what we do is we tell the kids, they want you to do the assignment. So tell the truth in the assignment, because we gave, we allowed the teacher to have the opportunity to change it, and we allowed them to know our stance on it. So we're not going to change our viewpoints and go against the truth based off of what the teacher is telling them to do.
Yes, and that's correct. And as I say, more than likely, it won't get pushback in the elementary and the lower level. You understand what I'm saying? The pushback comes when they get to high school and maybe college. When you really get to college have they have a network in that they have specific people who academia deem as people, that they give how to put it to that they give what's the word I'm looking for?
The lesson plans?
No, not lesson plans. But certain authors have what's that word?
So like you say.
Come on.
You mean like peer reviewed?
Okay, it's peer reviewed, but it's not so much peer reviewed, but it's like, okay, like the book, what's the book? From Babylon to Timbuktu, right? Who was it written by?
Rudolph R. Windsor.
Right. He is not recognized by the colleges. So now, if you write a book and you quote him in it, your teacher more than likely will not acknowledge that part.
But the bibliography or the accreditation?
Yes, yes. But the school deals with accreditation, right? But it's more so with the writer or the author, right? That's why they have something called JSTOR, where you could go up there and find all different articles. And if the school acknowledges this writer, this author, you understand? Because it's almost like, like just think in the truth. In the truth, a brother just can't come from off the street and start speaking. A young man can't just say, hey, Slack here, Zion, I want to say something, and take the mic and go up and say something. He's not authorized to do that. You understand? A trooper is not authorized to do that. It's the same thing when it comes to with the schools. They have certain people who they give authorization to for certain books, for specific books, and certain things. You understand? So even though we write a book, if I write a book, on Christ being black, the school will not, and a student try to quote what I'm writing, they'll throw it away. You understand?
So like, sir.
So that's why I say certain things you're gonna have to you're gonna have to play within their, you know what I mean, within their boundaries. You understand? And speak the language. Come on.
I'm still holding that article from the FBI on MLK.
Well, we coming to that. Tab on, was that time? We get a timestamp.
Wow, so there's more to go.
Come on, give me a little more.
Preacher had affairs with 40 to 45 women, indulged in hotel room orgies, and even fathered an illegitimate child. The documents also paint a violent picture of King, whose lust could soon turn to anger. In May 1965, for example, one agent reported that the civil rights leader had gone to the home of one of his female staff and torn her clothes off of her in an apparent attempt to attack her. Now, this biographer is David Garrow, and he is not some crackpot. He's a Pulitzer Prize-winning biographer of Martin Luther King Jr.
No, what is he doing? What is he doing?
So like, if I may add one,
He's
he's validating the source of information, sir.
That's it. And that's what your school, you know what I mean, when you get to your colleges, that's what it try to do. You understand? Because if not, any crack pipe could say anything. And a mechanic could break down some heart, you know what I mean, somebody's heart, and be like, well, yeah, this is a good book. But he's speaking about here, this, that, the other. No. To eliminate all of that, you need to be what? Validated.
Come on, and Salakia too, sir. His choice of words to use the word crack pipe is the direct insult to the black community as well, because we know as a nation of people what crack do to us, you understand, and has done to our community.
Yes, you understand. He for sure letting you know straight off the point that this ain't no fly by night. This is an oppressor. This is who he is, and he's well known for his journalism. Right? Come on.
Winning biographer of Martin Luther King Jr. He's a respected literary figure, and that's who this is coming from. More a little bit later on in the article, it says, according to Garrow's research, the FBI planted transmitters and 2 lamps in the Willard Hotel that King had booked for himself and his friends in January 1964. When King arrived, his close friend Logan Kearse, the pastor of a Baltimore Baptist church, invited King and his friends to meet women parishioners of his church that he had brought to Washington with him. What followed was a disturbing act of sexual violence. The group met in his room and discussed which women among the parishioners would be suitable for natural or unnatural acts, said an FBI summary. When one of the women protested, the Baptist minister immediately and forcibly raped her. It added, King looked on, laughed, and offered advice.
Now, what type of man will
following evening, say the files, King and his...
while a woman is being raped and offer advice? What type of man is that? A wicked man? Yeah, he a wicked man. But what type of man will watch another man rape a woman?
Lucky, sir. A gay man.
Yes. LGBTQ. Yes. That's what type of man he was. You understand? And I'm saying this, I know the LGBTQ might have offense to it, but you know what I mean? Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong that you all are not violent. You are a full-out violent set of people. And Dr. Martin Luther King is proving it. Read, play on.
His friends participated in a sex orgy involving 12 people at the hotel. Included acts of degeneracy and depravity. Goes on from there. There was one woman who didn't want to participate. She tried to shy away from it, but King pressured her and told her that it would help her soul if she participated in the orgy. Some
That's
more
your
details.
pastor
of
right
that.
there. Yeah, help your soul. He sound like a predator. He don't sound like a man of God to me. He don't sound like somebody who needs a statue for nobody to remember. Instead of getting him a boots, put his lips, put a lip as a statue. Put them two big lip as a statue. Let's remember him by his lips. Go on. Any more? Oh, that was it.
Just a little bit more, sir.
Go ahead.
Details with prostitutes and so on. According to his friend Ralph Abernathy, King spent the last night of his life with 2 lovers, followed by an encounter with a 3rd woman whom he knocked sprawling across his motel room bed after an argument. And there are more sordid details.
He sounded like he had a problem, man. And now you want my sons and my daughters to look up to that? Man, you better not tell my daughter to write about Martin Luther King.
That's right.
I'll make her write the author, the whatever she had to do. She'll write the YouTube link, everything inside there for her teachers to go listen to and read themselves. Better not. You understand? Teach the kids and them about your so-called leaders that your oppressor pushes to the forefront. Whoever your oppressor push to the forefront, go do your research on them before you decide to follow them, before you decide to jump on the bandwagon. You understand?
Okay.
Go do your research on them, and you'll see the amount of skeletons they have in their closet. You're going to see what a sinner and how wicked these people are. And your oppressor sit back. Right? If you all could find that scripture where it says, one of the heathens was saying, if the sin against the Lord won't be with them. I think it was either Amorite or a Moabite was saying it, and was telling them, don't attack them if they're serving the Lord. Right, find that for me. While you're finding that, Shabayala, go ahead and read what you had there. Keep that picture up for Martin Luther King right there. Shabayala, go ahead.
Khan. This is an insert from the FBI. It says, William Sullivan, then the assistant director of the FBI in 1964, wrote a memo that paraphrased a recording of King. The memo says, King said he launched the International Association for the Advancement of Pussy Eaters, according to Garrow.
What? Somebody had to authenticate that man right there.
Right.
Somebody had to validate that man. But go ahead. I believe him though.
Khan. One other FBI memo said to describe a prostitute recounting a sexual encounter she said she had with King and another woman in the Sands Hotel, Las Vegas in April 1964. So he launched a association. It's called the IAAPE. And I just said what it stands for. I don't think you want me to say that again.
No, and I say one more time. They need to know this, man. He launched that you won't get in your classroom. They won't bring these things out in history in your classroom because they don't want you to look at this man as not being a black leader, a genuine black leader. They want to keep us docile. You understand? They want us to be the next Martin Luther Kings. But that ain't going to be. Let's hear what the acronym stands for.
The acronym stands for the IAAPE. It stands for International Association Advancement of Pussy Eaters.
Yeah. Go ahead. And you know that he ain't talking about sisters. He talking about Caucasians.
It's only
Okay.
just a little bit more.
Go ahead.
It say Garrow's article will contain several other allegations about King's conduct.
We need the article. I need the article for next year.
So like you said,
A little deeper into his lifestyle. Come on.
so I got a excerpt from another article that got some quotes from Michael.
Come
as
on,
well.
let's go. Come on, bring it. Bring it on.
This is one, obviously, Yarmark, you know about this one. It says, this is from the Atlantic. It says, I'm just gonna scroll down. It says, want to know what could undo all the good you did getting arrested in a suit by being taped by J. Edgar Hoover in the throes of sex with a white woman who isn't your wife, yelling, "I'm not a Negro tonight." On January 6, 1964, FBI men installed microphones in King's Washington, D.C. hotel room and turned on the tape recorder. According to officials who heard the tapes, King that night betrayed his wife, Coretta, not for the first or the last time, shouting amid his private activities, "I'm effing for God," and "I'm not a Negro tonight." Later that year, agents anonymously shipped King a highlight recording of bugged sex groans and party jokes, along with a letter warning him, "You are done."
You understand? And once they did that, he began to what? Work for him. And if you're a sinner, you are going to work for who? The oppressor. You are going to. Ain't no getting around it. If you're not in the truth, you are working with the oppressor, for the oppressor, against black people. You understand? Against Hispanics and against Native Indians. You understand? Any more?
That's it, sir.
That's it.
So like it, sir.
Come on.
You wanted the book of Judith, chapter 5, verse 17.
Yes. That's the last one. Come on.
Judith chapter 5 and verse 17. And while they sinned not before their God, they prospered because the God that hateth iniquity was with them.
The God that hated what?
Iniquity was with them.
And what is iniquity?
Sin.
Sin. You understand? The God that hated iniquity. You understand? And Martin Luther King did everything you could have think about against the Lord. He did it. Read on.
Verse 18. But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles, very sore. They were destroyed in many battles, very sore.
You understand? Like today, we destroyed because of what? Drugs. We lost the battle on drugs, opioids. We lost the battle on fathers being in the home. We lost it. Why? Because we want to follow sinners like this man. You understand? We lost it. Read on.
And were led captives into a land that was not theirs.
And now you're still in captivity because of it. Your oppressor try to tell you you're free, but you're not. If you was free, right? When they say we were given freedom in 1868? When was freedom? When was slavery abolished? 1868, I think. Right?
1863, sir.
1863.
Yeah, that's when the
Right?
Emancipation Proclamation.
Right? But when slavery ended, though, I think it was 1868.
Slack the other one. 1865.
1865. Okay.
Okay.
Now my 68 in my head. Right? 63, 65. All right. Why would Martin Luther King in 1964 have to start some civil rights movement if he was free? because Negroes, we weren't free, and we're still not free. We're still begging for civil rights in this place because we are not free.
Okay.
You understand? The flag doesn't belong to you. The money does not belong to you. The land you own does not belong to you. Read on.
Okay. And the temple of their God was cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by the enemies.
Right. And the cities were taken by the enemies. You understand? You want to get back your city? You want to get back your land? You want to get back whatever the Lord gave you? You're going to have to stop following Negroes like this. You're going to have to stop following wicked men like this. You're going to have to stop following wicked men like that. You understand? That is it on that scripture? Or is there more?
That's it, sir.
Okay. All right. So with that, all right. You all have any questions? We'll take it on next week, right? All right. But before
So like sir, before you
go.
All these that we read is just what the FBI picked up. Can you imagine the things that wasn't that they didn't pick up?
Or imagine the things they didn't write about.
Right.
Because they had him bugged from since 1964. You understand? You're right. They not even a book maybe could hold the amount of things he did. You understand? They're just telling us, you know what I mean, certain things of certain events. You understand?
Right.
They told us about what? He had sex with what, over 40 to 45 women. I believe it was more than that. You understand? It was way more than that within them years that he was dealing with. All right? And the only reason why he decided to come out and say he let him in a burning house is because they told him about the tapes. They told him about the tape, and he listened to all the tapes, and he realized if he was to play this in the black community, it would destroy his character. It would have destroyed his reputation. Destroyed it. That's why the men around them, I think A. Philip Randolph, I think they say he was a member of the LGBTQ community. You understand? All right? Because he was a sinner. All right? And now with that, right? Any more questions before I pass the class over to the God? Any more? If not,
Okay, sir.
Come on.
I got a question, but it's not related to Martin Luther King.
Is it long?
Yeah, I'll wait till next week.
Okay.
I'll call you, matter of fact.
Okay.
No
problem.
Shalom.
All right. So with that, Akim, you all don't forget, April 1st, we have the Lord's Passover, sundown, Saturday, at Raleigh. Okay, Tabo, you can take this this Saddam might off the screen now.
Okay.
You can put them on the screen. Right? April 9th.
April
right?
1st.
April 1st. Right? The Lord's Passover. Sundown Saturday in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Convention Center.
Okay.
Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you do not want to miss it.
That's right.
You're going to come and see where real leadership is.
Right.
Come and see where real leadership is. Come and see what you need to get out of this captivity you're in.
Right.
You understand? Come and gather with your brothers and sisters. We got a ton of events on Wednesday. You know what I mean? Starting off Wednesday, we have a ton of events on Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday is the Lord's Passover. You know what I mean? All family oriented. You understand? So come out, take that week. Remember, Moses went to Pharaoh and asked him for how much? For 3 days. You understand? You go and ask your slave master for some days off, and you come down and enjoy it with your brothers and sisters, man. You don't want to miss it. You understand? You don't want to miss it. All right? And with that, I'm gonna pass the class over to Priest and Officer Bankayal.
Men of Israel, Majim. I'm going to render one courteous salute, Captain Ayathak. Men of Israel, Majim Shabbat. Majim, Barak. Yahweh
Shimei Shabbat.
Got a Matah, hands down. Sar, turn and face the sisters. Men of Israel, let's render one courteous salute to the sisters. Amajim Shabbat. Imajim, Barak. Yahweh Yad Matah. All right, your shot means to be seated. ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. The book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21. The book of Malachi, chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. Means 10th in the Hebrew. It's pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest funds, a free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. The upcoming Holy Convocation, we have the Feast of Purim, the 14th and 15th day of the 12th month of Adar, which is Sunday, March the 5th, and Monday, March the 6th of this so-called calendar year 2023. According to the book of Esther, chapter 9, verses 20 through 31. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, class dismissed.